Welcome, everybody, back to Nine's Corner. I hope you're doing well, feeling well. Welcome to May, our month that we've been talking about, thinking about our energy of 5. Up is down, down is up. This is going to be the month of change. Don't forget, this is the month of illusion, delusion, so anything you hear about, take with a grain of salt. It's not going to be a month where truth is going to hit you in the face. It's going to be a month where you're going to have to seek out the truth. And we have our full moon coming up on the 7th, so that's the perfect time to put out your intentions, good wishes, anything that you wish to put out to have the universe listen to. Write it down on a piece of paper, put it on the windowsill, or just put your face against the windowsill and talk to the man in the moon yourself and put out your positive intentions, because this is a great time to manifest. And if you are into tarot cards and into runes or crystals or any of that kind of good stuff, perfect time to put it out on the windowsill and let the moon cleanse it and clarify it and put its magic into it. Don't forget, this is going to cause a lot of emotion, so try not to cause a fuss, try not to get into a fight. So we are going to be talking about some heavy subject material right now. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Joe Biden and Tara Reade. But before we get to that, I wanted to ensure we start this off by putting our light, our candle, for each and every one of us out into the universe with the best of intentions. And let us have a good reading. One of the things that I wanted to say before we started is that in this time of COVID-19, I'm hearing a lot about cases of domestic abuse and crimes against women have gone up significantly. That's why this subject and us talking about it, on the one hand, we have to be sensitive and respectful about it, because anybody who comes to the table, it matters not who they are, what their background is, they have the right to be heard. At the same time, we have to ensure that, when you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. So if we put the light on to the abuse, if we put the light on to the things that are negative, we can change them so we have less of it, or maybe eradicate it completely. Don't forget that I bet you each and every person that's watching me, no matter if you're a man or a woman, we have all faced abuse, whether it be sexual, mental, physical, emotional. That be a man about it. What kind of shirt are you wearing? I mean, we are inundated, whether it be from our own family and friends, from work, from societal norms, from the media. We are constantly being told you're good enough, you're not good enough. And in this time, when with such an important subject, I don't want for the woman's voice, for the woman's liberation, for the women's ability to fight against abuse, and for abuse victims, whether you be a man or a woman, to have the right to step up and speak your truth, for it to be believed, unless there's a reason not to. I mean, we've recently gone through this when we dealt with Kavanaugh and that whole issue with Christina Blasey Ford. So I want to put the same fairness in the way I judge that, in the way that I judge this. So I also want to kind of acknowledge the elephant in the room, that this is an uncomfortable situation, it's an uncomfortable conversation, because we've all had it in our lives, whether it happened to you, whether it happened to somebody you love. And it's one of those things that it's so icky, it's such an awful feeling that you just want to put it on the back burner and only have to deal with it when it's being dealt to you or around you immediately. But don't forget that part of the problem is when good people with good intentions, who have no ill will, don't stand up. They turn the other way. They are enabling that cycle to continue. So it's really important for us to shed light on that darkness. Take off your political hat, come to the table as a person, and look at the facts, and then go from there. So I also wanted to just say, for anybody who's watching this, for anybody who's had an experience, I understand. I've been there. And one of the things that I have learned is that a way of having some control is to have forgiveness. And I'm not talking about forgiving the person who did it, forgiving the situation. I'm not talking forgiveness in that way. I'm talking about forgiveness in the sense that you give up give up any hope that the past will change, because you cannot go back and change it. We can talk for weeks and weeks and hours about, oh, if I only did this, oh, if I could have done that, oh, if this didn't happen. And that's when we get into victim shaming, because people will look at and say, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? But you're in the moment, you can't have that kind of vision. So we have to forgive that we can't change the past. And we have to forgive ourselves, because when we look back at something, we see the doors that could have been open, that we could have changed the outcome or changed the situation. But we all have to learn our lessons. We're all put into this contrast and challenge of life to learn, not to be judged. So let's come to this with as much light and respect as we can. And as always, I am wishing you so much light for your darkness. If this is an issue that you've had in the past or one that you're dealing with now, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for any shame, pain, for any guilt that you feel. And I promise you, no matter what, there is light to the darkness. And if we have these kind of conversations, these difficult conversations, we can shed light to the darkness of abuse and eradicate it, or at least get rid of it to the best of our ability and not let it be a prominent thing. It's not something in 2020 that should be something that's no better than what it was in the 1900s, because let's face it, we haven't made that big of a step when it comes to abusers, be them male or female. So with that, I just wanted to kind of go over some of the facts of the case. Okay? There's too much emotion, there's too much politicizing, so I really did a lot of research. And I mean, look, we know who Biden is. He was the vice president. When he was with Obama, I can't even say I thought about him. I loved Obama. I was like, yay, time of change, let's go, all the good stuff. There was a lot of positive coming there, so I really and truly didn't give him much thought. I mean, I kind of thought he was a bit creepy. I mean, you know, you can't help but get that vibe from him. He's way too touchy-feely. And certainly he has that gaffe ability about him, but I almost looked at that as like a Ronald Reagan type of cute thing kind of thing. But I never thought of him coming back at almost 80 to become the vice president or become the president again. And disclaimer, just because I'm having this conversation about Joe Biden and Tara Reade, the reason why I'm not bringing up Donald Trump is not because he's a monster. It's not because I think he's excuse me. I think he's one of the worst human beings when it comes to women, his treatment of women. I know he has 20-odd women. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on about the orange monster. But the orange blob has nothing to do with this current subject. I'm sorry. He angers me because I just can't believe that he's still in power. The fact that he's still there just... Okay, so let's get back. Focus on the case. So she was one of 8 women that came out in 2019 to say about inappropriate behavior by Joe Biden. She tried to file a report back in 1993, but she said she did not say about sexual harassment at the time. She said in her early 20s she wouldn't have known to put that name on it, that she was scared to tell the full details. She chickened out, and she was afraid of the backlash of telling. She said that she was told not to dress so sexily. She was told that when after this incident and after not being willing to waitress for something because he liked her legs or some such thing, that at that time she had lost her job and was demoted. And there was collaboration about the fact that she was demoted, but they didn't say why or how. She had a former neighbor that came out and told a few years after the fact, that collaborated her story. She had a former co-worker who recalls her telling about the sexual harassment in her last job in Washington. 2 additional people came out to collaborate their story, but they want to remain anonymous because they want to avoid harassment. One was a friend in 1993 that said that she told her the story when it happened, and a second was another friend that was told in 2007 to 2008, which is years after. She says that her brother knew, and he collaborates this. She said that her mother knew. Now, her mother's passed away, but she did say that her mother had called in to CNN and talked to Larry King Live about having a child that had issues with a senator, and sure enough, they went back and found the videotape. Now, Katie Halper, who I got a lot of information from her because she did an interview with Tara, and it was it's a hard one to watch because she goes into quite depth and explanation as to what happened. She worked for him in 1993. The NYT, the New York Times, came out, and the Biden camp is saying, look, they did a deep investigation and they said nothing happened, and that she changed her story. But the reality is that she didn't actually change her story. She said that she had uncomfortable, unwanted advancements from him, and she added on to her story about the sexual harassment. The New York Times came out and said they made no conclusion either way, so that does not back up what the Biden camp is saying, and that they had done some editing as to some of the wording because they were asked by the Biden camp. There's been a number of tweets and things that she had written about Putin, and a lot of people are saying, oh, she's a Russian asset. Whether that is under Biden or not Biden, whether that's under Putin direct or because of Bernie Sanders, because she was a Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren fan. She was behind them. She's been a lifetime Democrat. But Bernie also had his time when he had a liking for the USSR. So she said, just like Bernie, she went through a phase of it, but then when she realized that Putin was a real abuser, that she had changed her mind. So these were things that she had wrote about. Has nothing to do with the case, but it has something to do with the character. Then there was a write-up in the Medium where they had an interview with a lady Hummer, who is a person who rescues horses, and she said that Tara Reade had worked for her and had stole, I think it was like $1,400. So, and she had emails provided to show it. Now, Medium is a source where it's two bloggers, no news sources, no reputable ones, whether it be in media or in print, that I could find that reference this story. But I did go on Lynn Hummer's Facebook and saw that, yes, she referenced this story and said this is what happened. So there's a couple of things, there's a couple of layers here. From what I can gather, I didn't see anything negative about Lynn Hummer. She did provide the emails where basically she says, you owe me this, you have this money that you owe for horse vet bills, and then Tara Reade goes back and says, look, I'll pay you the money, I've done everything, I don't know why you're going after it. So it's not like she admits to anything, but you can see there's some kind of money issue there. Now, Lynn never went after her, never went to the police about it, and didn't mention it until Tara Reade came forward. And she is on a constant drive to get money. I watched an interview where she said the biggest thing in her life is getting money to raise for the horses. And she is still doing that, and she does a lot of that fundraising, that GoFundMe stuff. So there's the layer of, sure, this might have happened, but just because you had stolen something does not make that doesn't correlate with, well, you stole something, so therefore you couldn't have been harassed. That's like saying, you're a hooker, so therefore you can't be raped. I mean, it doesn't hold water. So this will say something about her character, but it doesn't prove whether she's guilty or not. And for Lynn's part, she didn't go to the media, the high media. She went to a blogger, and this got a lot of traction towards her site and making money and stuff. So let me just see the tweets about Putin, New York Times. The Time's Up. She went to the Time's Up group to try to get support. They said that they couldn't technically help her because of their charity status with the government, but that they did give her lawyers' names to deal with. And let me think. I think that's it now. I'm look, this is nowhere near all the facts of the story. I just wanted to kind of say, look, these are all the things that I've read before we go into our reading. So I thought, let's move this away. Let's look into this and ask 6 questions of each person. I'm going to go one by one. So let's have a look into both Joe Biden and Tara Reade. I want to find out, what is it that they're focused on right now? What is Joe Biden focus? What is Tara's focus? What's their desired outcome? What is the effect of this going to have on each of them? Did they do it? Did it happen? What is the best course of action for each one to take going forward? And what's the outcome? So I really and truly, I have no dog in this race. Before any of this, I would have thought, Joe is a bit creepy. I wouldn't let my child want to stand up next to him because, I don't like that touchy-feely thing too much towards me. I mean, I'm a touchy-feely. Like, I love giving people hugs and, I'll always touch somebody's shoulder, but I don't touch their face or touch their children or do any of that kind of stuff. So I don't have a dog in this race or horse in this race, so it matters not to me. I have no allegiance one way or the other, so I feel like my reading can be pretty honest and pretty fair, considering that I don't have any political alliance or this holds no weight for me. So let's just have a look here. I'm going to add some extra light. Take a deep breath. Let's get some truth happening here. Let's see what's going to happen here. First, we're going to look at Joe Biden and see what is the focus that when Joe Biden thinks of this current situation, what is it that his focus goes to? What is it that his mind thinks of? Temperance. Temperance is something you thought had been dealt with, and it's coming back around again to resurface. This is a major card. This is an important time, an important month, and this is the universe's way of testing your resolve to the very core. For Tara, what is her focus? We've got the 8 of Pentacles. So for her, she's assessing the risks, the economics of it, the backlash of it, the employment of it. It's like she's looking at what's happening right now and how it's affecting every single aspect of her life. What is the desired outcome that Joe Biden would like to see? And I don't mean desire as in obviously he wants this to go away, but I mean desire as in when he thinks about this, what does he want in his innermost person? What is it that it brings to him? Six of Wands. So this is problems with relationships, problems with partners, problems within business. This is dealing with a lot of challenge, and this is just wanting for it to be resolved. This is very much in his head. He's thinking about it. It's affecting him. For Tara, what's her desire? What's her innermost desired? What is it that she wants out of this? So this is her dealing with something from the past. This is something that completely just took her out. This is her fear of poverty, her fear of complete ruin. Her desire is for this not to destroy her. Let's look at how is this situation going to affect Joe Biden? This is going to cause Joe Biden to have to look at this. This is going to have him to stop, reevaluate, and think, what part did I play in this? What happened? Did something happen? And this is also looking for help. For Tara, what is the effect of this for Tara? What is the effect of this for Tara? Six of Pentacles. So for Tara, I think she wants this to be something that can help her, and she wants to help others. It's almost like she feels like this is something that's happened to me, and this is something I can help others with. So guys, let's just ask straight out. Joe Biden, your energy, come into my cards. You tell me what it is that you thought happened. Do you remember what happened? Do you think something happened? Did something happen? Answer the question. What's your energy? How did you think? What did you feel? Ten of Pentacles. So Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is almost like doing something and getting out of it quickly. It's causing a lot of stress. It wasn't worth the incident. He doesn't see this as something that was a big deal, but it's a big deal now and causing a lot of stress on him. So when he thinks back, did I do something? He thinks, oh, I might have flirted with her, I might have kissed her, I might have even pressed her up against the wall, but I wouldn't have done the rest of it, and that's stressing him out. From his point of view. What, from her point of view, did he do it? Or is she lying? From her point of view, did she do it? Or is she lying? Did he do it? Or is she lying? From her point of view, yes, something did happen. And I think there really is, at the end of the day, a kernel of truth, a kernel of uncomfortableness. But this is also showing me that during that time, this would have been a time of emotional distress, emotional crisis for her. So I'm thinking that at that time, her work life was crap, her personal life was crap, and she was under a lot of emotional strain. So I'm worried, or the energy is sort of saying, look, something happened, but it mightn't have been as dramatic as what she's saying, or it is as dramatic as what she's saying, that everything happened, but it has ill affected every aspect of her life, which caused her to mentally be unstable, which might be an out. Let's look at Joe Biden. What would be the best advice the tarot cards could give him for moving forward from this point on? What should Biden do to move forward from this point on? What's going to be the energies of what he should do moving forward? Okay. He needs to give up the ghost. He needs to think back, remember it, and believe what you remember. This is going to stress him out. This is additional stress that he's thinking, you know what, man, at this time in life, I don't deserve to have this BS. I've gotten through my whole life, through my whole political life, my whole working life, and this is what I got to deal with. Even though there's going to be a lot of support, it's going to kill him because there's going to be other stories, there's going to be other gaffes, there's going to be other things that are going to come that are going to affect him. So he needs to get a handle on it, put his head down, and move forward. It's going to affect his health. It's going to cause a lot of strain on him. What is the best course of action for Tara Reade? What should she do going forward? Because from the looks of it, from the reading so far, it's like she thinks it happens. He thinks it happened. She thinks it was worse than he thought. He thinks it wasn't as bad as what she thought. He doesn't even think it happened. And to be honest, he might not even be 100% sure, but I doubt it, because if somebody worked with you and you did that, you'd know. I don't know, it's a weird kind of feeling. So what should she do? Okay, so she's got the 8 of Cups. So this is all about being patient, be persistent, and just keep going. Walk away. Like, she is going to set up her story. She's going to tell her truth as she sees it, whether or not, people believe her, whether or not they give it credence, because there's going to be a lot of people on the right. They're going to say, you crucified Kavanaugh, you believed his accuser, and now you do not set the same standard for Tara Reade going towards Joe Biden. But I see her walking away from it. I don't think that it's going to come out that she was paid by Putin or that she's this, huge liar. I think that there's a nugget of truth when it comes to this, and she'll walk away in hopes to help others. So let's just look. What is going to be the outcome? What is going to be the outcome of this situation on Joe Biden? What is going to be the outcome of this situation on Joe Biden? Okay, 9 of Pentacles, his wish card. So I would venture to guess that if Joe Biden is sincere and he truly believes in his heart of hearts that whatever happened in that area between him and Tara, because something did happen, that is 100%. There's no way you could have all these people collaborate her story. When it came to the Kavanaugh, she had nobody collaborate her story, not even her best friend. There's way too many, information, things that happened at the time for it to be a falsehood. So I think that if Biden truly believes that he had nothing to do with it, he will walk away from it, and he will, find somebody that will help him, because this is going to hurt him in the sense that it's going to make people question him, and everything he does from now on is going to be even under more microscope, especially by people who dislike him. So I feel if he's sincere in his truth that he didn't do anything wrong, he will get a lot of help. If this was done with ill intention, there'll be more challenges, more things put in his way. So for Miss Tara Reade, what is going to be the outcome for Tara Reade? What will be the outcome for Tara Reade? What will be the outcome for Tara Reade? Hanged Man. So Tara Reade is she's going to be up against it. Everything in her life is going to be put under a microscope. She's going to have huge camps that are going to believe her and huger camps that are going to disbelieve her and want to disprove her. People are just going to not care to look at the situation. The hangman is saying, like, the people around are like, look, at a different time, we'd be willing to look at this in a different light, but right now, we have to look at it in this light. And this is telling me that any problems that come her way, they will be solved one by one over time. So, interesting reading. Interesting reading. And you know what, guys? This is the year of 2020 when truths and things of that need to come to the light will come to the light. But for us, for the people that are, I guess, the audience, the spectators, it is really important for us to hold on to our humanity. It is important for us to treat every person with respect, treat everybody with kindness the way you'd want to be treated. Put yourself into the shoes of others, because, you know, there's so much pain and so much suffering, and I bet you there's somebody out here that is going through this exact same thing. It just happens to be happening at Walmart, or it happens to be happening at the bank, or, you know, there's so much pain and suffering that's happening. And when people look at how people look at the situation, how people are treated in the situation, how people treat Joe Biden, how people treat Tara Reade, that will hinder or help people in the future to come out and tell their truth. So no matter what side you come on it, never forget that there's always a third side. It's the people that are being abused and hurt that need a voice. It's the children coming up watching us as adults, how we deal with these situations. If we do it with bias and without respect, then we've done more harm than good. So, guys, wishing you light for your darkness, wishing you so much, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to wish you enlightenment. I want to wish you a means and a way to help cure whatever abuse or any hurt that happened to you, whether you have to heal the child in you or you have to heal, the 50-year-old in you. Whatever it is that you have, I wish for you the light of love and contentment and forgiveness, knowing that there is no hope to go back and change the past, but the hope lies into the future, how we move and maneuver into the future. So guys, with that, have a terrific night. Thank you so much.